Hello everyone, I'm the EFC and this is Blue Lions TV, and today I'm bringing you guys a transfer daily video. Now there's a ton of things to talk about in today's transfer daily video. I'm going to be giving you the update on Dzeko and Emerson Palmieri. I'm going to be talking about Kurzawa and Olivier Giroud links. I'm going to be talking about Baba Rahman, and finally I'm going to be talking about musonda and his potential loan move to Celtic. But getting straight into the first story, and that's about Dzeko and Emerson Palmieri and what the hell is actually happening. Now it's been reported that on Monday that will be the final day of negotiations. If nothing comes through, then the talks will be off. Chelsea and Roma are still discussing terms and transfer fees over the weekends. Chelsea are hoping that their €50 million bid plus an extra €6 million in bonuses will be accepted by Roma. Now I'm going to talk about Dzeko and then I'll end it off by talking about Emerson Palmieri. Now there's been a hold up when it comes to the Dzeko transfer. There's two things actually. Number one, Dzeko hasn't accepted the terms that Chelsea have offered him, and number two, Roma haven't accepted the fee that Chelsea have offered as well. Now the deal that Chelsea did offer Dzeko was a 1.5-year contract, plus if he was to meet clauses, you get an extension for another year that would be automatic. So basically in a way it would be a 2.5-year contract. And of course Roma want more money for Dzeko, because again Dzeko is their best striker. They've got aspirations of getting into the Champions League, and Dzeko is key to that. Last year he did get 29 goals and 40 goals in all competitions for Roma. He's a massive player that they can't really afford to miss out on, especially with how tight Serie A is at the moment. Now Dzeko's hoping to get a flat 3.5-year contract, plus he wants to earn more than he's earning at Roma. So far at Roma he's earning €4.5 million a year. He wants to earn another €1 million on top of that. And if you guys remember what I said in the last video, Dzeko has a very young family. They've got a newborn baby as well. They just happened to settle in Rome. Plan was for the Dzeko family to actually stay in Rome, but of course with the fee that Roma received for Dzeko, they couldn't really afford to dismiss that, especially with the financial woes that Roma are in at this moment in time. Now you might be thinking, why is there such a massive hold up? Why can't Chelsea just pay the money for Dzeko and pay him the wages? It's not as if €5.5 million a year is necessarily crazy money to give to a player. Well, as you guys already know, and as I've touched upon numerous times already, you know our policy when it comes to players who are 30 years old and above. You only get a 1-year contract. Now, you guys got to think about the squad. I'm going to repeat this point again. If Dzeko ends up getting a contract that's worth more than a year, what are the other players in the squad going to feel? How are Fabregas? How's Luis? How's Willian? And don't forget the players in the past that can only get 1-year deals. Now with Dzeko, it's going to end up costing the club more money, because now if you're Luis, if you're Willian and you want a contract extension, there's no way you're going to accept another year, especially when you know that Dzeko got more than a year. Honestly, in my personal opinion now, I feel that if we are going to go for Dzeko, you already know that he's going to be 32 in March. You're already willing to spend nearly €30 million to bring him in the first place. Even then, €30 million is crazy amounts of money for a guy that's going to be turning 32. To think that it's probably going to cost the same as Andrei Shevchenko when he first joined us all those years back. And Shevchenko was 3 years younger too. It really does show you the desperation that Chelsea are facing at this moment in time to actually bring in a reinforcement for the striking position. I mean, it is kind of weird. I keep saying this all the time. A few people in the comment section get unhappy by this, but Conte will be leaving at the end of the season. Now, whoever the new manager is going to be, what if he's not necessarily interested in using Dzeko? It's going to end up costing the club a lot of money, and I feel that it's a very short-sighted thing to do in my personal opinion. But am I confident that Chelsea will bring their guy in? If you were to ask me, I'm about 70% optimistic, and obviously the 30% I'm a bit pessimistic. But how long the clubs have been talking to each other, I feel that they will reach an agreement for Dzeko. Now moving on to the other target from Roma, and that's Emerson Palmieri. Now I did release a video saying that we officially agreed to sign him. That's still the case. We've agreed a transfer fee, we've agreed the wages of the player as well. All he has to do is just take the medical and then become a Chelsea player. But the hold up for why Emerson hasn't had his medical yet is purely down to the Dzeko deal. Chelsea are hoping to secure both of them at the same time. Now there have been reports coming out that if Chelsea weren't able to get Dzeko, they would just cancel the deal for Emerson Palmieri. Now in my personal opinion, that makes no sense to me, and I've been thinking about it, and I'm thinking that Chelsea might be saying that's the case as a negotiation tactic. Now Roma do need to raise funds, it's imperative so they can meet financial fair play. The only reason why they're selling Dzeko, as I said earlier, is because of the ridiculous amounts of money they can get for him. It's literally once in a lifetime. If Chelsea threaten to call off the Emerson Palmieri deal, maybe that might force Roma to actually have to adjust what type of fee they want for the players. Do I think Chelsea will call off the deal? Well, to me it makes no sense because 1. A fee's been agreed. 2. Players already accepted terms. 3. All he has to do is just complete a medical. And the last reason, a lot of you guys have seen numerous transfer daily videos I've done when it's come to the left wing back position. As a lot of you guys will already know, Chelsea have been looking at the cheapest possible target they can bring in. Of course, they have to be of a sufficient quality as well. I told you before that we were linked with Telles and Kurzawa, but when Emerson was available and he was much cheaper than both of them, plus with his age as well, plus he fits into that criteria of being an under 25 player with a lot of potential, it was literally a no-brainer for Chelsea. So with all of these factors involved, I can't imagine Chelsea just cancelling the deal out of spite for not bringing in Dzeko. That makes no sense to me. If we weren't able to bring in Dzeko, I feel that EMERSON PALMIERI will still come to the club. And to be honest, if Dzeko didn't necessarily come, I'm not really going to mind that much. I mean, the price of paying for a guy that's 32 might not necessarily fit into the next manager's plan seems a bit crazy to me, especially when he's cut-tied and he can't play in Europe. And let's hope we beat Newcastle tomorrow, because imagine if we go out in the FA Cup, that means we literally have nothing to pay for this season. And I can't imagine spending that type of money or for a 32-year-old to secure us a top 4 place makes any sense. But this goes into the next part of the story, and that's in regards to Kurzawa and Olivier Giroud. Now, as I was stating earlier, the fact that Chelsea could potentially pull out of the Emerson deal if Dzeko doesn't join the club. Of course, the club are looking at alternative targets. Now, a lot of you guys watch the videos. I spoke about a lot of targets before it's come out in the press and in the papers. I told you that the club have been looking at Kurzawa, and he was high up on their priority list. Well, if EMERSON PALMIERI doesn't come, Kurzawa would be the next guy on the list. Paris Saint-Germain still need to raise funds. They haven't sold any players just yet. They're hoping to get rid of a few before the transfer window ends so far in January. Kurzawa is a decent player for them. He's not particularly world class. The Spanish left-back Giroud has been doing much better for Paris Saint-Germain so far. And they feel that if they could cash in on Kurzawa, that's going to obviously give them a bit of money to potentially get Alexandro. Now, when you guys watched my Telles and Kurzawa video, I told you the reason why Chelsea had looked at them over Alexandro is because they were cheaper. And if the Dzeko deal did fall through, Chelsea are looking at Olivier Giroud as a replacement. Now again, I've done a video a few weeks ago in regards to how Conte likes Giroud, and he's on Chelsea's target list. Now this could make some sense from how I'm seeing things. If you were to ask me, would I have Giroud or Dzeko, I'd probably go for Giroud. Do I think Dzeko is a better player? Yeah, but I'm thinking that Dzeko will be 32. Giroud isn't 30 just yet. He's in London, he understands the league already. It'll be fairly simple to wrap up. Plus, it could be very intelligent because we know that Arsenal want to bring in Aubameyang to the club. What's been reported is that Arsenal are still 20 million short off of Dortmund's valuation. Arsenal were hoping to use Giroud as part of the deal to bring in Aubameyang, but Dortmund don't want him. Dortmund like Michy Batshuayi and they would like to bring him in. Now this makes more sense to me going for him than Edin Dzeko. Arsenal are 20 million short bringing in Aubameyang. Wenger said Giroud can leave, but only if a replacement is found first. And it just makes so much sense for me. And honestly, this makes so much sense, especially because Dortmund want Michy Batshuayi as well. So in a way, it's like a nice transfer merry-go-round. So it makes a lot of sense on my part. Now moving on to the next story. And yes, Baba Rahman has completed his 18-month loan move to Schalke. It's been a long time coming. He surpassed the requirements by Conte. I don't think he rates him for some reason, even though he hasn't really seen Baba play. This loan move makes a lot of sense. Baba knows the Bundesliga. He has an apartment there already. He was at Schalke last season, and he was a first-team player before he got that nasty injury at the African Nations. And I think this is a fantastic loan move for him. Baba is only 23 years old, and I really feel that if he was to have a great 18 months at Schalke, develop as a player, improve even more, in 18 months time, we could be getting back a potential world-class left-back. Schalke are one of the teams in the Bundesliga that challenge to get into Europe as well. It makes a lot of sense for me, and good luck to him. And to end on the final story, and that's in regards to Charlie Musonda. Now it's been reported by the Daily Mail that Musonda is close to joining Celtic on an 18-month loan deal. Earlier on Instagram as well, Musonda actually liked a tweet referring to him joining Celtic on loan. Musonda needs a game time. Conte isn't giving him any assurances he isn't using him when he should be. He's 21, he'll be 22 soon. I can see why he would join Celtic, but I'm sorry, I'm not too happy with the club he's joining. I'm hoping that before the window ends, other clubs will make offers for him. I was hoping that Monaco would try to bring him in, but the issue with Chelsea is that the valuation fees they put on these loan players are too much, and most clubs don't want to pay that money, especially when they haven't seen these guys play too many first team minutes and they don't have many appearances at a first team level. Constantly price out players when playing for better clubs. I think it's not morally right, to be honest. And again, this really sums up Chelsea's stupidity. Musonda should have been playing at the Scottish level when he was 17, 18. He could have then benefited from an 18-month loan deal. Then when he's 21, the club can assess if he's going to be playing as part of the squad or if he could move on to play for a better team. It makes more sense. Another thing I don't understand is why Chelsea don't utilise buyback options. Doesn't make any sense to me. You've seen Barcelona and Real Madrid use this system fantastically well for themselves, and they've benefited so many times from it. One famous example is Kurzawa. I'm all about quality of minutes over quantity of minutes. And I think that the SPL just isn't a very strong league. Now there's a benefit of course playing under Brendan Rodgers, who plays a very attractive 4-3-3 system that would suit Musonda's playing style. But if anything, it just really highlights Chelsea's lack of any type of development plan for young players. The loan move structure doesn't really work enough, it's not efficient enough, there's not enough care in really finding out the best moves, and I think last summer in particular was a complete disgrace on a whole different level. So many players, I'm looking at Jake Clark-Sotter, who should be at Borussia Mönchengladbach, Lewis Baker should have been at Newcastle, Boga shouldn't be playing for Birmingham. So many examples, it's a complete disgrace. The club don't really have an idea on how to really manage it. It makes no sense. You invest so much money in your youth academy. You produce some of the best guys for their age group in the world. The minute they reach 17, 18, there's no development plan for what they can do to achieve success in their footballing careers. With the amount of talent this club has, 1 out of 100 players making it at a top level is not good enough, because a lot of them have already shown that they were some of the best teenagers in the world. For example, we did beat Barcelona to the signing of Musonda. Imagine if Musonda went to Barcelona. Would his career not be at a much higher level now? It's disappointing, but I'm just praying that a bigger club is going to come in for an offer. I hope that Fiorentina and Monaco try to pursue the deal, but knowing how Chelsea work, I'm sure those clubs have been priced out from bringing in Musonda anyway, because they'd rather buy him than bring him in on loan. But anyway, you guys, that's going to end today's Transfer Daily video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment and subscribe. I want to say thank you to everyone for saying congratulations to me for reaching 20,000 subscribers. By the end of this year, I'm hoping I reach past 30,000 subs. But your support means a lot, and I want to say thank you to everyone that watches my videos. But anyway, you guys, I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Lions TV, signing out.